What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Create a Life You Love podcast with me, Patrick Manifold. In episode 26, we're going to be talking about one of the barriers to happiness that I keep seeing over and over and over again, and what I think is a great solution for you to overcome the seemingly insurmountable challenges that you face. So let's get into it. Many years ago, I heard somebody say something along the lines of, if you argue enough for your limitations, then sure enough you get to keep them. Similar quotes to this have been attributed to so many people, so I can't confirm the original source, but the concept behind this quote is one that has really stuck with me. As I grow through life, I'm constantly curious. I'm always trying to reverse engineer success in all its forms. Success in relationships, success in leadership, success in sports, success in achievement, and success in life. But for me, after all these years of searching, I've found that a person's true indicator of success can be defined by how they answer one very simple question. Are you happy? Now, most people will blurt out an immediate and unconvincing yes, in the hopes their masquerade will go unquestioned. And I get it. The thought of other people knowing we are unhappy is an uncomfortable feeling, because maybe they will ask why, when quite honestly we don't have a very good answer for them, or worse, they'll try to help and offer some good advice, which will force us to consider change. And let's face it, most of us don't really like change, do we? Unhappiness is a cocoon that is extremely restrictive, but if you've lived there long enough, it becomes comfortable and eventually it feels like home. But honestly, it's not that blurted out answer I'm after. It's the truth, the real truth. Are you really happy? The sad fact for an unprecedented percentage of us is simply, but painfully, no. And the worst part is that most of us have absolutely no idea why. We may have the relationship we thought we wanted, or the house, or the car, or the family, or the phone, or the followers, or the fill in the blank. But happiness is something that seems to elude most of us, most of the time. Happiness, therefore, has become one of my main pursuits in life, both as a teacher looking to share the knowledge I discover to help others, but also as an individual seeking it for my own personal fulfillment. When Thomas Edison was asked how it felt to have failed thousands of times trying to create the electric light bulb, his response wasn't one of self-pity, but of empowerment. He said that he had not failed, but instead found thousands of ways that didn't work, which ultimately led him to finding one that did. Perspective is a powerful thing, isn't it? I see happiness in much the same way. In my journey towards happiness, I have studied misery with a hypothesis that says, if I know what causes misery, I know what doesn't cause happiness. The more I know about what causes pain, the more I know what to avoid, and the clearer my list of actions that create joy becomes. Sometimes, knowing what to avoid is just as powerful as knowing what you want to attain. When I see people making mistakes I've seen over and over and over again, it hurts me. I see people claiming that they want to be happy, yet constantly focusing on the negativity they experienced in their past. They cling on so tightly to why they are unfortunate or have been treated badly that they have become blind to all that they can and should be grateful for in their present life. This reminds me of the wise words I started with, yet instead of limitations, it's unhappiness that these people are unknowingly fighting for. If you argue enough for your unhappiness, then sure enough, you get to keep it. Seeing this pattern occur over and over again through the years has led me to believe that if you argue long enough for all the reasons that you deserve to be unhappy, you will not only win, you'll be undefeated. You may win sympathy, you may be rewarded bitterness, but for everything you fight for and win, it's what you lose that is most significant. Your ability to find happiness. Unhappy people focus on problems, while happy people focus on solutions. You can choose happiness if you choose improvement instead of self-pity. You can earn a future filled with joy if you choose to focus your energy on getting what you want instead of fighting for validation on why you deserve to be unhappy. Whether you are willing to accept it or not, you are where you are at this point in your life because of your own mindset. If you start making different decisions, you will start getting different results. If you try something new, you will experience something new. You may not have all the answers, but you do have all the results to work from. So if you are not where you want to be, or you're not feeling how you want to feel, that is the result of your past thoughts and actions. If you change your thoughts and actions, you will undoubtedly change your results. That cocoon of self-pity or unhappiness you're finding yourself in may be comfortable, and it may feel a lot like home, but it's not where you're supposed to live. If you're unhappy, you can make a choice not to stay where you are. You can choose to make progress instead. You can be courageous, break out from that confined space you've backed yourself into, and grow the wings you were gifted with at birth, and finally start learning how to fly. How different the world would be if instead of chasing success, we instead chased happiness. If instead of running after money, we ran after joy. If instead of hunting down possessions, we hunted down ways to make the ones we love smile. If instead of binging on food, drugs, and alcohol, we binged on love, giving back, and fulfillment. Doesn't that sound like a nice world to live in? Just know that you do have a choice. There is always a choice. It may be uncomfortable, it may be hard, it may be different than anything you've done before, but you do have a choice. Remember, if you truly want happiness, you must become someone who has a solution for every problem instead of an excuse why every solution won't work. If you're already extremely happy, then please share this idea with someone you know who could benefit from it. Or, better yet, share it on social so they can stumble across it for themselves. But if you are living a predominantly unhappy life, then I have one very important question for you. What are you going to do about it? Listen, the old you is still buried inside a cocoon made out of bitterness and excuses. But it's time to break out. It's time to be who you were born to be. It's time to learn to fly. Happiness has and always will be something worth arguing and fighting for. All you need is the courage to accept your worthiness and spread your wings. And I have a feeling that when you metaphorically step off that ledge of fear into the unknown, I believe you will soar to heights the old you never thought was possible. So what are you waiting for? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Create a Life You Love podcast. I know your time is precious, so I really appreciate you spending a little of your time with me. And I admire you for purposely trying to nourish your mind with passion and positivity in an attempt to make progress. Until next time, a la próxima, dream, believe, work hard, achieve, and please, be kind. Ciao for now.